Hello, friends. If you feel your child has shown this uncontrollable rage, this tantrum as you call it, or maybe crying so badly you do not know how to calm them down, how do you react to it? You get angry, you feel embarrassed in a social situation. But here I'm talking about kids who might have sensory needs, who might be on the spectrum, who might have autism. And in those cases, it's not really a tantrum, it's something known as a sensory meltdown. They have different experience of sensations compared to us. So a simple light in the room could be overstimulating to them. What is the possible reason? First, they're not able to communicate exactly what they want. So if they are hungry, they're thirsty, they want to sleep, we usually also get, for regular kids also, we get this kind of tantrum, or they get a bit cranky during that time. But other than that, if they are not able to communicate, their emotional control is not mature enough to make you understand what is their problem, or maybe whatever has been presented to them is too challenging, like a child who has a fear of water is made to take bath. Think about the repercussions. They're of course going to go into that sensory meltdown. They will have that extreme behavior that you just want to avoid at any cost. And for you, the problem is, how do I get my child to take a bath? We can actually categorize this into places where the audience is less and the audience is more. So if the audience is less, try to ignore the behavior, because trust me, these behaviors, the more you attend to them, are stimulated and are likely to happen more often. But if you try to just ignore them and let the child self-regulate, it's really going to go down. They will learn how to calm themselves. Secondly, you can always try to distract them, trying to talk about or show them their favorite book, especially in social situations. Show them their favorite book. Just keep this sensory kit with you, which is suited to your particular child. So it could be a fidgety toy or something that the child likes to hold in their hand. It helps them calm down, or, just making them jump a bit on the spot, because kids do that. It's okay. It's of course better than running around. And then on another hand, if it's happened within the home environment, for example, you have presented them with an activity that they find too challenging, switch to a less difficult activity for the time, an easier activity. Once they have done that, you come back to that activity and explain to them, manually guide them how to handle that activity, and it might bring a better result. And if they cooperate with you, always remember to praise them, because the more you praise them, even if it's a pat on the back, they really understand the concept of hugging. So they will understand that yes, this is rewarding. The major problem that might come over here is when the behavior becomes so out of control that the child resorts to harming themselves, like scratching themselves, or hitting themselves, like banging their head on the floor, or hitting themselves with something, or they try to hurt others in a way, or they try to trash the house by throwing valuable objects. Always try to create a safe zone for the child, full of sensory objects that the child feels calm about, like a weighted blanket or a vest or a cuff, something that the child tends to enjoy, or making them, relax and rock them slowly on a ball. One thing that also gets missed out during these sensory meltdowns is we do not identify the triggers. We just say it happens to our kid all the time, but really there are always some triggers. Like I said, identify what kind of sensory stimulus, what kind of environment. Maybe it's just a larger group of people, or maybe meeting certain people, or whenever the child has to do some particular activity, like I gave the example of taking a bath. When the child really has a fear of water, they are not comfortable with anything messy, or even getting their hands soaked in water. In those cases, it is important to understand what triggers that reaction of the child. Try to change the environment a little bit. So you can make maybe the child comfortable by just giving them a simple sponge And on a very alternate day, you can take them not exactly for a bath, but asking them to, wash certain parts of their body. Try to get them to engage, involving their toys in the activity, getting them used to coming to a bathroom, and just for placing objects over there or removing objects, getting them to remove their clothes, change their clothes in the bathroom, so that they get just familiar with the environment that they are in. A few tips for the parents. First, try to control your own anxiety. Try to calm yourself in the situation where a child has that sensory meltdown before you try to handle them, because the more they see you anxious, the more they are likely to end up in that anxious situation or in that meltdown phase. Then it's unnecessary to reason them, to threaten them, because if their communication is limited, if their emotional regulation is limited, they're really not going to understand those concepts. If it's not really a harmful behavior, try to remove yourself from that situation so that it doesn't overwhelm you as well. But keep a close eye on the child in case they resort to something like throwing objects on the wall, against the wall. So let me know how beneficial, how informative this video was for you. Mention in the comments below, and also any other problems that you need addressed, and we will cover it in the road to rehabilitation. We will meet again.